Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas. I hope you've all been good little ones and zeros this year. I have many. This bit's gone on long enough. Hello everyone, happy holidays. My name is Koji, and I'm here to answer only the most burning and festive questions that I know have been on the minds of millions. Who on the Super Smash Bros. Roster is naughty, and who is nice? Well, I'm here to answer that, because I definitely have the best moral compass ever, and I'm the one making the video. So it's my rules. Speaking of the rules, there aren't really any. Most of these characters are going to be judged solely on their games of origin, where I categorize them as either naughty or nice, or somewhere in between. So with all that, let's start at the top of the roster with
Mario!
Well, some people would argue that Mario isn't all that great. He does save the Mushroom Kingdom on a yearly basis, and even hosts parties and kart races, where he even invites Bowser and all of his kids. So overall, he seems like a pretty good guy.
Donkey Kong!
Donkey Kong, everyone's favorite ape. I mean, this guy just wants to hang out with his friend and eat bananas, but keeps having them stolen for no reason, which usually means saving an island in the process of getting him back. Which is cool for the wildlife and all, but ultimately, he gave us the DK rap, so I can guarantee that makes him on the good list, and Santa definitely has that on loop all night to help him get through his deliveries.
Link!
The adventures of Breath of the Wild really opened up a lot for Link. While his adventuring skills and saving Hyrule after being in a coma for a century is nothing to laugh at, arguably the best thing he did was learn how to cook, which coming from me is a very hard thing to do. And because he can cook, he can make his own cookies to leave out. All homemade from whatever grains he finds in some field, and frosting made of milk and choo-choo jelly, I imagine.
Samus!
While Samus did raid a planet, kill its inhabitants, and then swiftly blow the whole place up, she is a bounty hunter and just doing her job. Plus, it was to stop the Metroids, so I think for the sake of the universe, it's a small price to pay for salvation.
Dark Samus!
Dark Samus is a doppelganger, and doppelgangers are bad. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions suffer from it every day. Am I allowed to make an Office reference? Do people still watch that show?
Yoshi!
Naughty. Straight up naughty. Because of tax evasion. And this isn't even a meme. Yoshi canonically evades taxes according to the Mario Party spin-off Fortune Street. Waluigi also thinks that taxes are a legal way to steal money, so that's all you really need to hear about that.
Kirby!
Kirby has canonically killed gods on many occasions, and I'm pretty sure no one in their right mind would risk causing even a minor inconvenience to this ball of death, much less insulting him with a sock full of coal.
Fox!
This one is a bit of a tough one, as they do save the world by wiping out literal armies that terrorize the people of Canaria and its surrounding planets, but that is a lot of soldiers, and plus they do end up taking out a lot of wildlife in the more or less populated planets. And with all that, also, they're doing this purely for money. They're just mercenaries after all, so I'm gonna say naughty on a technicality. I'm gonna lump all the Pokemon into this since they aren't really characters, they're just Pokemon, so I don't exactly have all that much to go off of. So I'll say they're all in the nice category, except Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff is canonically a brat and puts people to sleep to draw on their faces. Such mischief leads to only one place, and one place only, the naughty list.
Luigi!
Has a mansion, although the only reason he has the mansion is because he cleared out an entire other mansion of its valuables and ghosts. And Santa's pretty buddy-buddy with the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, so I'd say he safely likes ghosts. And with that being said, I don't think he appreciates how Luigi sweeped a whole house of them, and also taking their valuables.
Ness!
Earthbound was fantastic, being all about American culture and stopping aliens from destroying the planet. It is funny how often those two overlap. And while Ness and his ragtag group of friends beating up aliens and local wildlife with baseball bats and yo-yos is great and all, They also did hallucinogenic drugs at some point, and drugs are bad. Naughty list.
Captain Falcon.
From the beginning of time, humans have had one innate carnal desire: to go as fast as humanly possible, and to have a flashy car. Which means that, in a way, Captain Falcon is the ideal human, which is good. Nice list. Maybe he'll get a stolen Cadillac converter. I don't know.
Peach.
Peach is royalty, and as such, she's supposed to be commanding over a kingdom. However, Peach gets captured so much that she's almost never in control. That, and also, when she's not captured, she's out playing tennis or golf or racing go-karts with other people. So I can't really say she's all that great of a ruler. And with that, I think the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom would attest, Peach is on the naughty list.
Daisy.
Even though Daisy is significantly more moody and participates in almost just as many sports and other outings as Peach does, she also gets captured significantly less, so I can only assume that means that she is actually guiding over whatever kingdom that she's a part of.
Bowser.
I honestly think Bowser gets a bad rap. I mean, yeah, he is the villain of every game and all that princess capturing stuff, but can you really blame the guy? His whole kingdom is filled with ugly mountains and lava. It only makes sense that he would try to expand into places that are more livable. And plus, even with all that, he's a pretty good dad, all things considered. He raises a kid and also raises what I can assume are several other adopted ones with the Cupelings. So, yeah, not a bad guy. Plus, he canonically sounds like Jack Black, so that has to count for something.
Ice Climbers.
Both of them hit baby seals among other animals in their game.
Zelda.
Honestly, Zelda's just awesome. She's not your standard video game princess, at least not all the time. She knows when to fight and when to surrender, and in some cases she can really clean house on her own. All of this, and she's also got a ninja alter ego, and ninjas are badass.
Dr. Mario.
I'm not sure it's a surprise to anyone when I say that Dr. Mario does not have a medical license, and yet he still walks around giving people ungodly amounts of pills. So on top of not really knowing what he's doing, he's also gotta be committing some form of medical malpractice. There are 8 of these. The Smash roster is filled with 8 Fire Emblem characters. And as someone who knows absolutely nothing about any of the Fire Emblem games and has no desire to attempt to do so, I'm going to put them all in the naughty category for taking up 10% of the roster. Except Robin. Robin is cool.
Young Link.
This kid has harnessed the power of time to fast forward and jump back in time for a multitude of reasons. And while most of the time this was being done to save Hyrule or Termina, I do think it lands him in the naughty list, just because I imagine time travel is something that causes a massive inconvenience to everyone working under Father Christmas.
Ganondorf.
Ganon is a case where I could not make up or find any redeeming qualities. He's just evil, and even worse, he comes back every single game. And every time, he gets stabbed. Why won't you stay dead? It is clear that nobody likes you.
Mr. Game & Watch.
Mr. Game & Watch just seems to do a lot of odd blue-collar jobs in all the games he's in, and who can fault that? I'm sure he's getting Game & Watch dollars for his Game & Watch wife and kids.
Meta Knight.
I don't think being a villain automatically makes you on the naughty list, especially when you're as respectful to your opponent like Meta Knight is, as he gives Kirby a sword to have a good fair fight.
Pit.
Pit was caught thinking of many unholy things. Naughty things, you might say. That's not very angel-like if you ask me. Plus, he eats ice cream off the floor, which is not sanitary.
Wario.
I think that it's no surprise to anyone that Wario, the face of the greedy fat guy archetype, is in the naughty list. However, Wario doesn't like that. And with his wealth, he hires other people to break into his house and leave gifts, because that's just the kind of person Wario is.
Snake.
I honestly know nothing about Metal Gear except that Metal Gear Rising was amazing, so by process of elimination and the rules that I'm making up in my head,
Pokemon Trainer.
all Pokemon trainers just set out on an adventure, and for the most part, I would assume that all of them treat their Pokemon fairly well. This isn't really a case where I can judge, since Pokemon Trainer is kind of the most self-insert thing ever, so I'll give them the nice list.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong has gone on his own fair share of adventures, both with and without Uncle Donkey Kong. But he did get his own kart racer that rivals Mario Kart, in which he stops the egotistic Wizpig by beating him in a race. That makes sense.
Lucas.
Ah, yes, Lucas, one of the only characters in the roster in which it makes complete sense that no one knows anything about because it still hasn't gotten an official English release. So I can't tell you if Lucas is good or bad because I can't play the game. So he's automatically on the nice list. And what he wants for Christmas more than anything is an English version of the game that we can all pay for.
Sonic.
Sonic saves animals from robots and thwarts the plans of an evil robotics major who seems to have unlimited funding. However, he does seem to move too fast to have a fixed address, so there is really nowhere for presents to be delivered to.
King DDD.
King DDD has stolen all the food in Dreamland, which to me never made any sense since he still needs to feed his own people. If that was the case, I imagine his citizens would surely have raised an eyebrow at their own food going missing, but what do I know?
Olimar.
He waddles around collecting small plant rat things called Pimkins to do his work for him. And it doesn't seem to be by choice. I mean, just look at this character's splash art. This little red pumpkin thing he's pulling on right now. It looks like it's in pain. How could you do this to the tiny red plant gremlin?
Rob.
Rob is a toy add-on for a game on the NES and Famicom. The real question here is if you were on the naughty or nice list, because Rob is the toy that is under your tree for you being nice.
Me.
I'm on the nice list because this is my video, and what I want more than anything is for you to like and comment on the video letting me know your thoughts so far, and subscribe to the channel for more somewhat festive content like this in the future.
Toon Link.
This iteration of Link did quite a few things. He learned to sail, learned how to conduct a train for some reason, but biggest of all, he set off on a world-saving adventure not for the world, but for his little sister. And as an older sibling myself, I can respect that a ton, since I wouldn't do that. My baby sister's annoying, and she eats crayons.
Wolf.
Wolf certainly doesn't seem like the type to be friendly outside of space dogfighting, so I have no doubt that he's on the naughty list. Though I can't imagine that him and his crew still have some sort of secret Santa thing going on, so I'll give him points here, but still pretty clearly on the naughty list.
Villager.
Works hard doing odd jobs selling bugs and fish, and helps villagers around town with small menial tasks. And they're the town's acting mayor for seemingly no paycheck, so he's a pretty stand-up guy. Plus, he pays off his loans like a good member of society, so even Tom Nook would agree with me.
Mega Man.
I quite like Mega Man, saving the world from Dr. Wily and stuff. My friend actually argued that Mega Man would be morally bankrupt, and on the naughty list since he downloads the enemies he defeats. I told him that's stupid and he only takes their powers and or weapons. We argued over this for quite some time, but all that aside, Mega Man is good.
Wii Fit Trainer.
I honestly can't fault anyone for trying to show others how to exercise and do yoga, so nice list.
Rosalina and Luma.
Rosalina lives in space, and while she seems like an absolutely great person to both the Lumas and other people, unfortunately, Santa only ships internationally, not in space.
Little Mac.
Little Mac is just doing a sport. Plus, out of the 90% of fighters he faces off against, he doesn't even cheat with everyone around him doing it. And with them all doing it so blatantly, I don't know why Mac just doesn't show the ring the unrivaled power of gun. That's some real sportsmanship.
Me.
Because me's are self-inserts, that really depends on who you decide to make. So if you just use any me, then you're fine. But if you're using memes like Peter Griffin, Steve Harvey, Shaggy, etc., then you're on the naughty list for unoriginality.
Palutena.
Naughty. No, I will not elaborate any further.
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man eats ghosts. Ghosts are a Halloween thing. Good job, Pac-Man, for throwing Halloween propaganda back in its lane.
Shulk.
I can 100% guarantee you that Shulk uses his future sight to peek at his presence, and I would say that's naughty list material.
Bowser Jr.
I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that small Bowser is kind of a brat and has pretty much made a permanent place for him on the naughty list. However, he doesn't know that, as I imagine that Bowser would still try to give him a few things and tell him they were from Santa.
Duck Hunt.
The dog is a dog and the duck is a duck. Nice list. I don't think I need to elaborate further.
Ryu.
I had to do some research for this one because I knew nothing about these characters or the story behind them. And oh my god, the story of Street Fighter is freaking bonkers. Well, actually, what is it with fighting games having the most ridiculous stories ever? This only being worse that the games are out of order and mesh with other games. It's a mess. It's all a mess. Why did I do this? Nice list.
Cloud.
This is an interesting case because, I mean, yeah, he does save the world, but he also starts by blowing up a power generator that takes out an eighth of a city's power. And I mean, yeah, it's to help save the Maka resource, but at least warn the common folk being affected. What if they were in a meeting or doing something important? Some people just can't live without electricity.
Bayonetta.
You might think that Bayo is on the naughty list for killing angels and other reasons we shan't speak of. But no, she just causes a lot of property damage. She even broke Enzo's car and then acted like it was all fine and dandy. I mean, yeah, sure, Enzo doesn't seem like the best guy himself, but I'm sure he still worked for that car.
Inkling.
All the Inklings play a game where the main objective is to be the most prominent destroyer of public property. Is what I would say if the ink and paint they shot did not canonically disappear when they all leave, leaving no damage to any property and only good fun. And guns. Guns are there too.
Ridley.
Ridley kinda never did anything wrong. I mean, yeah, it is a boss that tries to melt Samus, but can you really blame it? If some orange ball came into your home and then transformed into this human-looking shape and then started shooting missiles at you, then you would try to melt them too.
Simon.
Simon and Richter both use the power of holy water and pure unfiltered violence to take down a variety of monsters. Most importantly, vampires. And vampires are a Halloween thing, and this is a Christmas-themed video, so the destruction of them is probably good in Santa's book.
King K. Rool.
K. Rool is a pirate who steals bananas for some reason and kidnaps monkeys. There isn't anything else that can be said. Theft plus kidnapping equals naughty list.
Isabelle.
Oh boy. Now, some of you aren't going to want to hear this, but Isabelle is evil. While some of you were playing Animal Crossing, did you ever stop to think, why do I have to collect bugs and fish to pay off my house? I'm the mayor. Where's my mayor-related paycheck for all my mayor-related duties? And why do I have to pitch in the most for all the city-related projects? And why don't we ever see Isabelle ever collecting random assortments of items to pay off loans that she should have? I think I found the answer. Isabelle has been embezzling the town's taxes to line her own dirty pockets with unreal amounts of bells, and that's why she never lives in the town that she supposedly cares so much about. She's using stolen wealth to buy a house of luxury somewhere offshore so that way no one would ever suspect a thing. But I know. I always know. I'm on to you.
Piranha Plant.
It may have teeth and a seemingly infinite supply of spike balls, but this is a plant with no sentience and no sense of morality, so I can't really put much of a judgment on this little dude.
Joker.
Alright, so the only thing I wrote down for the script for Joker was made hotline lol. So, that's the way I'm keeping it.
Hero.
In Dragon Quest XI, yes, there are 11 of these. I barely just found out he even had a sequel. But in Dragon Quest XI, Dai enters a girl's sauna to be a pervert.
Banjo and Kazooie.
Banjo and Kazooie are both great. I mean, the bird is a bit mouthy, but the two friends did go on a grand adventure to save Banjo's sister, Tootsie Pop, or whatever her name is.
Terry.
Terry's an interesting one. Terry took in the child of his enemy and raised him as his own. And honestly, looking at him, he does give off trucker dad energies, and I will say that probably checks out pretty well.
Min Min.
I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea there was any backstory to any of the ARMS characters, but here I am. Apparently, Min Min loves noodles so much that owning a noodle shop just wasn't good enough for her. So she genetically spliced her DNA to match that of the noodles she was cooking. Now, aside from that being a freak of nature, good on her for doing all that. I am sure her DNA noodle splicing will help at least someone with some issue.
Steve.
This is another tough one, since there isn't really a moral compass for Steve, but just based on how the majority of people play Minecraft, I'm gonna safely say he's getting coal for arson against countless villages, the robbing of many graves, and the pillaging of several temples.
Sephiroth.
This is another case where he's just so clearly the villain and has no redeeming factors. So I can't even stretch this like I did with Bowser.
Pyra.
I've not played the second Xenoblade game, but from what I've read, Pyra seems like the good type, though I can't exactly speak for Mithra. She does seem like the more mischievous type, but what do I know?
Kazuya.
Anyone who has played Tekken can tell you that no one in the Mishima family is good. Seriously, if you look at the long and convoluted weird story of the Tekken franchise, you'll realize that none of the main characters are at all morally right. So, naughty.
Sora.
Mouse Company go brr. So yeah, that is the entire Super Smash Bros. Roster. All 82 of them. Most of the 82 of them, because I know I skipped the Pokemon and the Fire Emblems, because there's too many of them. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed that little spectacle. I had a lot of fun making it, and this had a lot of moving parts. And I couldn't appreciate it enough if you liked and commented on the video to let me know what you thought, and maybe subscribe to the channel for more content in the future. With all that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your days and enjoy the holidays, and I will see you all in the next video.